Hey everyone, it's Mari, and thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. I have another card making process for you today, and I am just really excited to be back in my craft room filming and doing some projects. So what I'm going to be working on here today is a side folding card, and I'm just using some Bristol smooth cardstock here today, and I'm going to start out with a little bit of ink blending. So I'm just going to be using this Distress Oxide ink in Broken China to start off with here, and I'm just going to be blending onto my cardstock using a Tim Holtz blending tool. I'm just going to blend this Broken China on here. This is going to be the section of my card, or the portion of my card that is going to be the water. And so I just wanted to get a really kind of mottled look, and I'm going to actually do some put some water on here as well and create a really distressed look. So I'm going to just finish up with this Broken China, and then I'm going to add some cracked pistachio oxide ink over top of that, because I just wanted to create kind of a greeny blue looking ocean color for the water section of my card. So you'll just see me here switching up my foam, and I'm going to add that cracked pistachio on top. I really love these Distress Oxide inks. They blend really nicely, and I just really love that they're just a little bit muted in their color, and I love them. They're just a really great alternative to the regular Distress ink. So I'm just going to, like I said, blend that on, and then I'm going to just take my water and I'm going to spritz some of that on there with my Distress spray tool, and just going to squirt some on there. And then I will let that sit on there for a couple of seconds and put my paper towel over top and just dab up some of that ink to create a really nice distressed looking panel there. Now I'm going to just add a little bit of water to my mat here, and I'm going to try to pick up as much of that ink so I don't waste it. I'm just going to put that on a piece of my Bristol paper, and I think I'm going to also add or take a piece of watercolor paper here as well and pick up as much of that ink as I can so that I don't waste it. And then I'll just use those pieces on another project. So just going to pick that up, and then I will clean up the rest of my surface and keep going on my card. So you'll see that I'm going to be using some Lawn Fawn products here today, and the stamp set that I'm going to be using is the Duh-Nuh stamp and die set. It's super cute, and I don't have the die for creating the waves with spiky peaks on them. So I'm just going to take my stitched hillside border die from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to create the waves for the water just using this die. Now I'm going to use my micro pour tape to stick this die down onto my cardstock, and I'll run that through my Big Shot. So I'll just kind of put it up to the top. I'm going to cut it so that the stitched part of the die doesn't actually end up on the cardstock. It's on the piece that gets cut off. So I'm going to just kind of measure here where my waves are going to be before I start the sky section for the rest of my card. So the top 2/3 of my card is going to be the sky, and I'm going to do some stamping of some of the sentiments on that top portion as well. So I'm just taking this little stencil, this little cloud stencil, and I'm going to, or I guess mask, and I'm going to just create a little bit of a hint of clouds there using that Broken China ink again. And I'm just going to put this on in a couple of spots, and then I'm going to put that sun on, and I'm going to also die cut some clouds as well, just to add a little bit more dimension to the sky on my card. So this little die cut sun is from Doodlebug Designs, and it's from the little Fun in the Sun odds and ends bag of ephemera. I love those little Doodlebug odds and ends bags of die cuts. They're so awesome, and you get so many in those little containers or in those little packages. So I just really like this little sun on here, and I'm going to now take the die from Lawn Fawn, the Simply Puffy Clouds, and I've just created a couple of little clouds here. I'm just going to edge them with more of that Distress Oxide ink, in broken china, just so that the edges of the clouds are defined a little bit. Now I'm going to do my stamping using my MISTI, and I'm going to just stamp down these little images from the Duh-Nuh set, and I'm going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I am going to use some Copic colors on these pieces, so I wanted to just make sure I'm using a Copic friendly ink. So I'm going to just stamp those a couple of times here just to make sure that the images are super solid, and that's the beauty of the MISTI, so you can just keep stamping that up and inking that up. And now I'm going to take 3 different colors of gray just to color in my little shark here. So I've got, I'm going to be using N2, N4, and N5. I'm going to start off with N2, and then I'm going to go to the medium color and then the darkest color, and I'll continue to just blend them with the N2. So I'm going to go in and add the medium color now, the N4, just on the bottom edge of the top portion of that shark. And then you'll just see me blend that out and add a little bit of the darkest color as well, just to create a little bit more of a shadow. So this is really, really simple and easy to do. The Strathmore Bristol Smooth paper is so great for Copic coloring. The ink just, you know, really is soaked up nicely by that, absorbed nicely by that paper. And you'll just see me taking the N5 here and adding that darkest color of gray in there, just to create that little bit of shadow on that bottom portion of the top half of my shark. So I'm going to leave that bottom section completely white, and then I will just be done with that. I'll just give this other little fin the same colors, as I'll use the same markers as I did on my complete shark there, on that little fin. And then the little tiny fish there, I'm going to color as though that's a little goldfish, I guess, and going to just use a couple of orange colors, or yellow, red or yellow orange, YR07 and YR12, just to do a little bit of shading on the little bottom portion of my little tiny goldfish there. Just going to add a little bit of color in the darker color and then blend it back again with the YR7. So those little images are done, and now I just took my micro pour tape again and cut those out using the dies from that set. Now I also have the Ocean Waves die from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to just create a couple of little spots where I am going to create openings, little wave openings in the water. And so that longer one I'm going to use so that I can stick the shark in there, and then I'm going to put my little goldfish in that smaller, where that little smaller die is going to create the cut. Now I'm just going to create a little slit on either side of that bottom fin on my shark, so that he fits in there in that little slot where those waves are. And then I'll just stick that little goldfish where that little wave cut is at the top, just so that it looks a little more realistic, a little more three-dimensional, so those little sea creatures are actually inserted in between the waves where it looks like they are. So, and then I will just stick that little fin up at the top so that it looks like there's more than one critter here, more than one shark. So you'll just see me try to fiddle with this a little bit and get the placement accurate here, so that I just like how the placement is before I actually stick things down onto my card front. So I'm just going to go back to my card front again here. I'm going to place this down. I will stick this onto the card base with some Tombow Mono glue, and I will use some of that same liquid glue on my little fish as well, just to adhere them into the right spots here. Really love using that kind of glue on my cards because it is going to be permanent, and that you won't find that your cards are falling apart as time goes on. Now you can see that I've got everything stuck on there, and I have the sentiments stamped on there as well. I have the Duh-Nuh in the upper part, and then You Are Jawsome on the bottom part. Now I've also gone ahead and stuck down some Studio Cadia clear drops onto the card, and I'm going to finish off with a little bit of Wink of Stella And I'm also going to put a little bit of embellishing on my little goldfish there as well. So I really love how this turned out. I think it's really super cute. I'm not sure what this card will be for exactly, but it could be used for a birthday or whatever. So I'm going to leave the inside blank for now. Thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I had a lot of fun sharing this with you today. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I'll see you again. Hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.